Hey everyone, welcome to the show, A Little Bit of Life with Bryce Briggs. It's been a couple weeks since I posted, so I figured I'd get something out there this week. So what's been on my mind, or what's been rising up to talk about? What's been rising up to talk about is, what do I do to have a little bit of life? Like, what are some of the things that I purposely take time to do and enjoy my life? So this past week, I actually took a night and a day to go and stay in the woods with a good buddy of mine, and be there for opening day of elk season with him, to go out and just enjoy the woods. I don't have an elk tag this year, so don't get to do the elk hunting myself, but it's okay. I still like getting out. And this thing is just, I really just like to get out. As I've gotten older, and even, when I do have, a license to hunt, and I purposely go out there to hunt and harvest meat, it's still about just being able to get out and enjoy nature. Hunting has always been one of my passions, one of the things I enjoy, along with fishing. I grew up hunting, I grew up fishing. Used to live for that. As I've gotten older, it's taken the backstage quite a bit. And I had quite a few years where I actually skipped out on hunting as an adult, especially after moving to Arizona. And whose fault was that? That was mine. So, and I complained about it too. Like, I always complained about how I wasn't getting out, and I needed some adventure, yet I wasn't purposely taking time to do that. I had time to do it, I just didn't. And also too, at the time I was struggling with health issues, and so I always had the fear of, how am I going to feel when I'm going out there and exploring the woods. I had fear of being on my own, really. It wasn't until in the last 4 or 5 years I've actually gotten back into it, and purposely take time to enjoy just getting out. And it's not about getting something. It's really about just being out in nature. So that's one thing that I do to have a little bit of life is, every other week or every few weeks, I try to at least get out once. I'd like to get out every week, doesn't always happen, but just get out in nature at least once in a while and explore and see animals. That's a big highlight, is when I get to see something and observe it, and just enjoy things. Always been an outdoor person, and I live for the outdoors. I grew up in the country, and living on a small ranch in Montana, and I'd go out and explore on my own all the time as a kid. We had a slough that ran in our backyard, and had frogs, had turtles, and that was my thing. I'd go catch frogs, I'd go catch turtles, I'd get all muddy and disgusting. Have to take my clothes off outside and hose off. Good times, and get my buddies involved with that too, getting them all messy, and so they did the same thing as I did. And just enjoyed exploring. It's definitely, I don't know whether, the world has changed the way we've seen things. I notice as a parent now with kids, and being where we live in town, and so it's different. And my kids haven't had the same experiences as I got to have. I was carrying a rifle at 6 years old, and going out shooting gophers and porcupines and all kind of different environments. My kids haven't got to experience that, and my son, uh, he was able to take hunter's education, and he can hunt, but he hasn't got into it near as much as I was. Like, I have a hard time talking him into just going outdoors with me for no reason, really. I mean, he's got to be some good reason before he's convinced to go. He, so definitely different. He's his own person, and it's okay. Like, the thing is, we all have our things that we like, and it's actually important for us to be honest and be authentic in choosing our preferences and what we like to do. And that's something it's taken me time to develop in myself. I had to take some time just to reintroduce myself to myself and rediscover what I like and what I dislike. And I questioned for a while whether I even like doing what I do as far as my things in the outdoors, and I really do. It sometimes there's work involved with it, and that's part of the adventure. This past time that I went out, uh, I was staying in a friend's cabin. I was staying up in the loft area, and yeah, I'm deciding I'm getting too old to sleep on the floor. It was amazing how I could sleep so comfortably on the floor when I was a kid, and actually a lot of times preferred it to sleep on the ground, sleep on the floor, no big deal. I'm 35 years old now, and I do not like sleeping on the floor. It's like that hurts. And so I go out, intending to just, have that getaway overnight and for the day. And I'm laying on the floor up in this loft of the cabin. And I was like, oh, why did I do this? Like, why did I bring a cot with a foam pad or something? My thought process was, only going for one night is not a big deal. I just take my sleeping bag and, sleep like that. No, I had a rough night. I only got 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and then I'm laying there questioning, why am I doing what I'm doing? There's several times in life I think we all do that. Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And again, just looking at, it's for the experience. I get to learn something about myself now and where I'm at in this part of my life, and get to learn more about my preferences and make a conscious choice to choose those. So yeah, next time I go out, like even if I'm going for a night, I think I'll definitely consider taking a cot and my foam mattress. But the point is do things in a way that you can be grateful for the experience of it. Whether it goes the way you want to or if it doesn't. It was a great day. The following day, I surprisingly woke up, fairly full of life, and was able to enjoy it. And had a good walk in the woods, great exercise, and a lot of just sitting and being still in nature. And we did see some elk in the dark on our way there, which was cool. We didn't see anything after that. We saw some sign. We found a elk antler. So all in all, it was a pretty good day. There's times I go out and I see nothing, and I just go for long walks, and you have those questions like, what am I doing out here? But it's like I'm here. I'm out in nature. It's the experience, and I think that's I repeat doing that is it each time I go out, I'm connecting to myself. I'm learning more about myself. I'm seeing where I can improve in different areas. It gives me time to uh, meditate or just be with God or whatever. Have some introspection with myself. So it's always a great opportunity for those reasons. When I was a kid, it was just all about, I want to go out, I want to get something, I want to kill something, I want to catch something, whatever the case is. And as I've gotten older, it's more just about the experience. It's more just getting out, and whether I'm by myself or I'm with a good buddy and having time with him, having time with a good friend. It's great. Um, it's well worth it. Same thing if I go with my dad, and if I go with my dad, a lot of times we go on horseback, and that's something. That's something I do miss a lot because I don't do that as often. I'm not as much of a cowboy as my dad is, but it's something I still enjoy doing. And what's arising there is, it's something that I do truly love and appreciate and have gratitude to have that experience with my dad, and teaching me to ride. Yeah, my dad lives closer now to me, and I still haven't got out riding with him since he's been here. So that's what's arising there. And our schedules have not kind of met to where we could do that. Wow, surprised there's a lot of emotion there. But again, it's that experiencing what do we prefer in life? What is that little bit of life that we're missing out on that we could be choosing to take part in? A lot of our problems, and whether we want to say have depression or whatever, or even certain ailments we go through, it really comes because we have lack of joy. It's important to give yourself joy. We need that. So whether it's just simple things, and sometimes it's just simple things for me. I've shared before, like sometimes for me, it's just starting my day by sitting out on the front porch and having that cup of coffee, and I have a acorn tree out in the front yard, and I got that to look at, so there's green, and I'll have rabbits come through the yard, I got quail that come through the yard, and I got tons of pigeons that like to hang out around my house. But simple things a lot of times, and it's just so important to just take moments to give yourself joy, to invoke gratitude for things we just take for granted a lot of times, and revisit things that we've put off for a long time. See, do I still like doing that or not? It's been a interesting journey in discovering those things, and I'm sure things will continue to change as I age, and that's fine. But it's nice to revisit some of those memories and invoke gratitude for that experience, and those crazy hunting trips that were sometimes pretty rough, and you know what? It's sometimes interesting that even when things are not exactly easy or comfortable, we find ourselves returning to those things because it really shows our character a lot of times. It really teaches us about us. It's an opportunity to face maybe some parts about ourselves we may not like, and it's really having acceptance for it's all for everything there, for having full acceptance of ourselves, and fully learning to know ourselves and where we stand with things. I talked a couple times before about things I did growing up. My grandpa and I were very close, and that's I credit him for really getting interested in fishing and hunting. That's something we did together a lot. And sometimes we just hang out together. We go to the corner store, gas station, and again, such a simple thing. We just go get a soda pop. We park along the street and watch the cars go by. Our 49 cent 32-ounce soda pops. Good old days. But simple. There was a lot of joy at that time. I was thinking this wouldn't be an emotional topic. I could get by without bubbling up. Oh, it's okay though. It's all part of the experience. Great memories. But yeah, the things I do have a little bit of life. Times is simple. In life, it's simple if we allow it to be. A lot of times we're making life way too complicated. It doesn't need to be. Simple choices to give ourselves value and worth and love can go a long way. It adds up. And that's, kind of ultimately then a foundation of living a healthy life is taking time to give myself value and worth and those little moments of joy, no matter how simple they may seem or ridiculous, or no matter how ridiculous it may seem. My audio cut out, so I had to come on here to finish this video. Little bit of life. Things we do. Tell you what, do something. It gives you joy. Get to know yourself. Figure out your preferences. Give yourself value, give yourself worth. One of the favorite things I like to do now, and this is something I try to do on a daily basis, is give myself 15 minutes just silence. Doing nothing. Just sitting with myself, doing nothing. Just being with myself. Live in a busy world. A lot of times we keep ourselves busy, and one thing that I know I tend to do is find a lot of distractions, and one of those things that I distract myself with can be work. We can distract ourselves with work, distract ourselves with substance, we can distract ourselves with social media, whatever the case is. So sometimes just taking time to be still, be silent, and just find joy in existing. That's all I'm going to leave you with. Until next time, this is Little Bit of Life with Bryce Briggs.